Hello everyone. Now this is not my normal video because I don't usually put up any inspirational or motivational videos because I honestly don't believe that I'm a motivational speaker or anything of that sort. My videos are usually restricted to my area of specialization, which is finance and maybe at times taxation. But this time this video is going to be slightly different. During the last couple of months, especially during this situation of COVID, a lot of students have been asking me, sir, suggest us some ways by which we could improve our English. Now this I know is a concern for a number of CA students. While discussing this, I'll be essentially discussing three things. One, is it really important for someone to be fluent in English? Two, what are the difficulties that people face when they are not fluent in English? And three, I would suggest a few methods by which maybe you can try and improve your English. Is it important to know English? I would honestly say no, because as long as you are able to express your thoughts, your opinion and your feelings effectively to someone, I don't think language should be a barrier. But having said that, if you are pursuing higher education, there is a chance that those courses could only be offered in English. There you might find yourself at a disadvantage. Again, if you're also looking at taking up some online help or online courses to improve certain aspect of your skills, you would realize when you go through the online resources available, you would realize that a whole lot of them are in English. So knowing English is certainly an advantage. Although I wouldn't say it is absolutely essential, because there are a lot of great persons who have achieved a lot in their life and who don't know how to speak English. But when you're pursuing a professional course, it does give a little bit of edge if you are fluent in English. What are the problems which are faced? See, now I'm going to talk with reference to my experience of teaching CA students for the last 2 decades. What happens is, a lot of these students come from small cities and towns. They often finish their intermediate exam in their small city, and then to undertake articleship and to gain a little more exposure and to avail the facilities of quality coaching classes, they often shift to bigger cities. And this is when the problem starts. They encounter a couple of problems. What are they? First of all, when they start attending the lectures, they realize that most of the lectures are being conducted in English. And they are obviously having a little bit of problem in keeping up with the pace of the class. That's the first problem they face. The second problem is more social. These students who come from small cities and who are not fluent in English, they are often hesitant and reluctant to mix or get along with students who have been brought up in these cities and who, in their opinion, are very fluent in English. So what happens is, most of the time, these students who come from small towns often form their own group, and they very rarely venture out of these groups. Now, forming a close group, while it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages also, because if you stay within a close group and you're not interacting with other people, then how do you expand your knowledge? Right? That's because one of the key ways of expanding your knowledge is to interact with more people. The more people you interact with, the more things you know. So this is the second problem that they've come across. And the third is, because they are not fluent in English and because they see other students are very fluent in English, these students often suffer from low self-esteem or low confidence level. A lot of students, they know how to speak English, but they are very scared of their accent. Now, regarding accent, I would like to tell you something. Don't be afraid of your accent. Be proud of it. Because everyone has their own individual characteristic. Right? And that actually defines a person. If we were all to speak the language in the same way, then we would all end up sounding like artificial intelligence, like a robot speaking. Everyone is talking about in the same tone, in the same accent. But we know that, every individual is different and they have their own characteristic, and accent forms a part of your characteristic. It's a part of your individuality. Don't lose it and don't be ashamed of it. I mean, if you see a Spanish guy speaking English, you would notice that he speaks it with a certain accent. Is he ashamed of it? No, he is not. So there is no need for you to be ashamed of your accent. So if you know English, but you are hesitant to speak out because of your accent, don't be. Start speaking. Right? Okay. Now let's move a little ahead. What are the ways in which you could improve English? Now here, what I'm going to tell you is not some rocket science or something that, is a secret recipe which I have formed or anything. No, it's a well-known theory which is practiced by a lot of people who have managed to improve their English over a period of time. There are 3 things that are very critical. Listen, speak, right? And read. These are the 3 most critical things for you to improve not only English, any language. Listen, speak, and read. Now, when I say listen, what I mean is listen to the way the other people speak. Listen to the way they gesticulate. Listen to the way they express themselves. And the second thing is speaking. Start speaking. I mean, it is not going to happen that, you're going to be perfect in English and then one day you start speaking. It doesn't happen that way. We were all not born knowing English. Understand, English is not our first language. So when we were born, we didn't know English. Gradually, over a period of time, we started speaking. And it's not that the first time we spoke, we had committed no mistake. Obviously, we would have committed mistakes. Someone would have corrected us. Or maybe we would have learnt it along the way. That is the way to do it. And you were able to do it at that time because at that time you did not have any inhibitions. You were not ashamed of being wrong. But as you grow older, you tend to be a little apprehensive. You tend to have a little reservation. Oh, what will that other guy think if I'm wrong? Don't think about it. Start speaking. Initially, you may not come out as very fluent, but over a period of time, you will attain fluency, because at the end of the day, please remember, fluency is a function of frequency. The more you speak, the more fluent you become. And the third thing is reading. Now, how important reading is something which I can never emphasize. You have to read a lot. Not only from the perspective of learning a language, but also from widening your knowledge sphere. You have to read. Now, I'm personally a fan of reading books in their physical form. Given a choice, I would rather buy a book and read it because I love the feel of that book. I love the smell of that new book. But if you're not comfortable doing that, there are a lot of other ways you can do it. There are ebooks available. And now you have the facility of audiobooks where you can just listen to the books. I would give you certain sites or references to certain sites from where you can listen to books, and they are free of cost. They're absolutely free. So if you're not comfortable with reading, you can listen to it. Just plug in your earphones, and whenever you have time, let it play. You keep listening to it. The more the number of books you listen to it, the more you will become attuned to the flow of the language. Right? Plus, there are other apps which are available, and some of the brilliant apps are absolutely free. Like there is one app which I'll just show you on the screen now, which is a podcast by BBC. It's a BBC podcast app. There are so many podcasts out there which you can listen. Right? So, learning English, see, there is no shortcut to it. There is absolutely no shortcut. There is no, even if you do attend coaching classes, remember, finally it will boil down to your efforts to listen, speak, and read. That is how you improve your English language or your spoken language or any other language for that matter. Right? So, I would suggest, and my advice to students who are not very fluent but who want to learn English, go ahead. Start listening to people. Start speaking. Doesn't matter if it's not fluent. Why do you care? You don't have to be ashamed of your accent, of your mistakes. Well, if you do commit mistakes, you learn. Right? Because no one has ever learnt anything without committing any mistakes. So commit the mistakes, learn. But at the end of maybe say a year or a year and a half, you will be speaking fluent English. Because if you don't start today, then even at the end of 1 year, you will still be wondering, how can I speak good English or how can I improve my English? Right? So without any delay, just start listening, speaking, and reading English and make an effort to improve your language. That's all for this session. Stay healthy, stay safe, and ciao.